Hari, Jaya Kunja Hari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Vihari, Jaya Kunja Vihari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Labha, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Yashodanandana, Jaya Brajajana Ranjana, Jaya Dana, Jaya Dana, Jaya Yashodanandana, Jaya Brajajana Ranjana, Jaya Jaya Brajajana Ranjana, Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jaya Kunja Vihari, Jaya Muna Tiravanachari, Jaya Kunja Vihari, Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jaya Kunja Vihari, Jaya Hari, Jaya Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Vihari, Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Vihari, Jaya Jaya Kunja Vihari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Gopi Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Jaya Girivaradhari, Jaya Yashodanandana, Jaya Brajajana Ranjana, Jaya Jaya Brajajana Ranjana, Jaya Yashodanandana, Jaya Brajajana Ranjana, Jaya Nana, Jaya Brajajana Ranjana, Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Jaya 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 Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol. Shri Shri Prabhupada ki Jai Mishtapada Paramahamsa Parivajaka Acharya Ashtotra Vendesh Abhay Charanarinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki BBT Samsthapak Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Mishtapada Paramahamsa Parivajaka Acharya Ashtotra Vendesh Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Maharaj ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavavrinda ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर टिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की द्वारका अयोध्या धाम की नवदीप मायापुर धाम की श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगमय की भक्ति देवी तुलसी देवी की समवेद भक्तवृंद की हरिनाम संकीर्तन की हरि भक्तवृंद की जय निताय सत्यनाथ गौर प्रेमानंद. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories and glories to Guru and Shri Gauranga. Hare Krishna, thank you for attending this Srimadh Bhagavatham class in the morning on Friday, 24th October 2025. So today we have to recite from Shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 5, text number 22 to 26. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 5, Shloka 22 to 26. With this 26th Shloka, we will be completing the chapter entitled Frustration of the Sacrifice of Daksha. Hare Krishna. So before we start the class, we will pray to the Lord for giving us mercy to speak on the text. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Seveya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtake Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Govindaya Namo Namaha Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Shloka is from 22 to 26. So we'll just try to repeat only one shloka, maybe 25th, which has the purport, or maybe the last shloka. 26th we'll decide altogether. But this one you can just try to repeat. It is already there in the screen, right? Akramayurasi dakshasya Akramayurasi dakshasya Cithahari hetina Cithahari hetina Chindan api tad uddhartum Chiddan api tad uddhartum Nasakno trayambakastada Nasakno trayambakastada. Word meaning, please repeat after me. Akramya, having sat. Urasi, on the chest. Dakshaya, of Daksha. Cithahari, having a sharp blade. Hetina, with the weapon. Chindan, cutting. Api, even though. Tat, that head. Udhartum, to separate. Na asaknot, was not able. Tribankaha, Vidarbha, who has 3 eyes. Tada, after this. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki. Please repeat after me. Then with Veerabhadra, the giant-like personality, on the chest of Daksha, and tried to separate his head from his body with sharp weapons, but was unsuccessful. Text number 23. Shastrair astranvitair evam Shastrair astranvitair evam Anirbhinna tvacham haraha Anirbhinna tvacham haraha Vismayan param apanno Vismayan param apanno Dadyo Pashupatischiram Dadyo Pashupatischiram. Word meaning, Shastrair, with weapons. Astra anvitai, with hymns, mantras. Evam, thus. Anirbhinna, not being cut. Tvacham, the skin. Haraha, Veerabhadra. Vismayan, bewilderment. Param, greatest. Apanna, was struck with. Dadyo, thought. Pashupatihi, Veerabhadra. Chiram, for a long time. Translation based on Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please repeat the translation. He tried to cut the head of Daksha with hymns as well as weapons. But still, it was hard to cut even the surface of the skin of Daksha's head. Thus Veerabhadra was exceedingly bewildered. Text number 24. Drishtva samgnapanam yogam Drishtva samgnapanam yogam Pashunam sapatir makhe Pashunam sapatir makhe Yajamana pashohotkasya Yajamana pashokasya Kayatena harachiraha Kayatena harachiraha. Word meaning, Drishtva, having seen. Samgnapanam, for the killing of the animals in the sacrifice. Yogam, the device. Pashunam, of the animals. Sa, he, Virabhadra. Patihi, the Lord. Makhe, in the sacrifice. Yajamana Pasho, who was an animal in the form of the chief of the sacrifice. Kasya, of Daksha. Khayat, from the body. Tena, by that device. Aharat, severed. Siraha, his head. Translation by His Divinity Srila Prabhupada. Please repeat the translation. Then Virabhadra saw the wooden device in the sacrificial arena by which the animals were to have been killed. He took the opportunity of this facility to behead Daksha. This purport by His Divinity Srila Prabhupada. Please listen to the purport. In this connection, it is to be noted that the device used for killing animals in the sacrifice was not designed to facilitate eating their flesh. The killing was specifically intended to give new life to the sacrificed animal. By the power of Vedic mantra, the animals were sacrificed to test the strength of Vedic mantras. Yagnas were performed as a test of the mantra. Even in the modern age, tests were executed on animal bodies in the physiology laboratory. Similarly, whether or not the Brahmanas were uttering the Vedic hymns correctly was tested by sacrifice in the arena. On the whole, the animals thus sacrificed were not at all the losers. Some old animals would be sacrificed, but in exchange for their old bodies, they received other new bodies. That was the test of the Vedic mantras. Virabhadra, instead of sacrificing animals with the wooden device, immediately beheaded Daksha to the astonishment of everyone. So we'll go for text number 25. Sadhu vadastadhatesham Sadhu vadastadhatesham Karma tattasya pashyatam Karma tattasya pashyatam Bhuta preta pisachanam Bhuta preta pisachanam Anyesham tad viparyayaha Anyesham tad viparyayaha. Word meaning sadhuvadaha, joyful exclamation. Tada, at that time. Tesham, of those followers of Lord Shiva. Karma, action. Tat, that. Tasya, of him. Virabhadra. Pashyatam, seeing. Bhuta preta pishachanam, of the bhutas, ghosts, pretas and pichachas. Anyesham, of the others, in the party of Daksha. Tat viparyaha, the opposite of that, an exclamation of grief. Translation by His Divinity Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please repeat. Upon seeing the action of Virabhadra, the party of Lord Shiva was pleased and cried out joyfully, and all the bhutas, ghosts and demons that had come made a tumultuous sound. On the other hand, the Brahmanas in charge of the sacrifice cried out in grief at the death of Daksha. Text number 26. Juha vaita chirastasmin Juha vaita chirastasmin Dakshinagnav amarsitaha Dakshinagnav amarsitaha Taddeva yajamandagnav Taddevaya janam dagdau Pratishtat Govyakalayam Pratishtat Govyakalayam. Word meaning Juaha, sacrificed as an oblation. Etat, that. Shiraha, head. Tasmin, in that. Dakshina Agnav, in the sacrificial fire on the southern side. Amarsitaha, Veerabhadra, being greatly angry. Tat, of Daksha. Deva Yajanam, the arrangements for the sacrifice to the demigods. Dadva, having set fire. Pratishtad, departed. Guyaka Alayam, to the abode of Guyakas. Kailasa. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Okay, please repeat. Veerabhadra then took the head of, and with great anger threw it into the southern side of the sacrificial fire, offering it as an oblation. In this way, the followers of the Lord Shiva devastated all the arrangements for sacrifice. After setting fire to the whole arena, they departed for their master's abode, Kailasa. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purpose of the 4th canto, 5th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Frustration of the Sacrifice of Daksha. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjala Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Jayapataka Swamniti Namni Namacharya Padaya Nithaya Kripa Pradayane Gaurikada Damadaya Nagar Gramadharani. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devai Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gauravaktarunda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So Sumudra Chaitanya Das, when he took the class 3 weeks before, he was asking the title of the chapter. What's the title of the chapter? Mainly concerned with frustration. He was asking frustration. And he was also telling why this has to be in Srimad Bhagavatam also. Of course, each and every topic we discuss in Srimad Bhagavatam has a relevance, and it is the pastimes of the devotees, number one. Number two, and it is also a lesson for a lot of us to learn also from Srimad Bhagavatam. So it has got a lot of deep meaning also. We try to understand how the frustration is very, very important in our devotional practice also. Because actually, like from past 4 chapters, so we are listening to the story continuously, and most of them we are already aware what is the story about. So here, after the first sacrificial ceremony, where Shiva was invited to participate, he did not show respect to Daksha, and Daksha got offended, and he made lot of accusations to Lord Shiva. And how Lord Shiva took in the first instance, and again in this situation where Sati, he forcibly went to Daksha's second sacrificial ceremony without an invitation, also is very important for us to learn. And in this particular chapter, in the beginning, Narada Muni, as usual, he informs who? Lord Shiva, about the situation of Sati, who was no more actually, now dead because of Prajapati's Daksha's insult, and that his soldiers have been driven away by the Rubu demigods. Hearing this particular thing, Shiva, we know that like he got very angry for many reasons actually, because this also we'll try to learn from the lessons actually in the end of the class. And he pressed his lips and just took a small hair from his head and just threw it on the ground to bring in Virabhadra, who was very, very devastating. And Virabhadra, like he was actually given the blessings from Lord Shiva himself, like you please take care and kill Daksha, was the instruction for Virabhadra. So now, lot of good description is given on Virabhadra, how he was so gigantic, lot of hands, lot of weapons in his hand, and he actually headed and he created a big havoc in the sacrificial arena, and he almost destroyed everybody. Nobody could even stand in front of Virabhadra, for the reason that like Shiva and Virabhadra was non-different. In fact, like Shiva is meant for destruction of the complete universe also. So there was no chance for anybody to stand in front and face Shiva or Virabhadra in this particular case. So now, having done all these exercises, in this particular text, 22 to 26, so we'll just are hearing how Virabhadra comes to the situation of killing Daksha. After destroying the sacrificial arena, he now wanted to kill Daksha upon the instruction of Lord Shiva. And here is where that lot of astonishment and bewilderment happens actually. So Virabhadra in text number 22, he sat on the chest of Daksha and tried to separate his head from his body with sharp weapons, but was unsuccessful. So there is no purport, but we can, in plain words, we can understand even Daksha was also not an ordinary living entity. He was a Prajapati and he was empowered by Brahma to progenate, and he had the blessings of the lordships also to do this, to continue this particular mission. But here Virabhadra, even though he had this gigantic form and he had wanted to kill Daksha, it was not successful also. Then again in next text 23, after he was unsuccessful, Daksha, he started to cut the head of Daksha with the prayers, hymns, as well as weapons. But it is said here, but still it was hard to cut even the surface of the skin of Daksha's head. So which is actually amazing actually. How can such a great personality like Virabhadra cannot even sever even the skin also? Just even a scratch was also, he was not able to make a scratch to Daksha's head. So here again the same question comes, because of course Prabhupada is not given any purport for this one explanation, but we can understand that he was empowered, and he also, it was not very easy for anybody to just like that destroy Daksha. So thus Virabhadra was bewildered actually in this particular situation. He also was wondering like why this is not happening. Very simple task he had, because he has already surrendered, Daksha surrendered, he was not retaliating, but at the same time he was not able to be killed also. So it's very amazing actually, even for Virabhadra, such a gigantic person who was almost sky high. So then immediately Virabhadra, what he did, he saw that wooden device which was used to kill the animals during the sacrificial procedures. And immediately he took this opportunity to behead Daksha. So that actually I was just discussing with our senior devotees, and just trying to get some information on this wooden device, how it will be. So they generally have that X mark on the wooden, and they will keep their head on that particular stand like thing, and immediately the sword from the top, it will just kill. In one shot, it will be killed. And the sword also will be razor sharp. Nothing can stop from killing it. Because the main intention is to behead the animal without giving much pain. Because it is not like torturing an animal during the sacrifice. So this was what is practiced during that particular time. Prabhupada actually has given a purport for this. Let's try to go through it in brief. So he explains why this particular sacrificial procedure was carried out. This sacrifice of animal also was generally done not just for killing the animals and to eat the flesh. That was not the purpose at all when the animal were sacrificed during the yajna. It was basically to check the strength of Vedic mantras, because that time there were qualified brahmanas and exalted personalities who could actually recite the mantras in a proper way to perform the yajnas, and at the end they wanted to just check whether this yajna is a success, the results of the yajnas is successful or not. The test was the sacrifice of the animal. And there are two benefits in this procedure. The first thing is the animal which was sacrificed will not have an issue of just getting killed, because it will get a better body in the next life. Number one. Number two, if at all that particular sacrificed animal is beheaded after the sacrifice is over as an oblation, then if it gets a better body, then it means that the yajna is successful. That was the result. So this brahmanas also, it's a testing actually, because we have heard some stories also wherein like they used to give sacrifice to Mother Durga. Instead of asking to kill somebody, the Durga himself killed the person who was uttering the mantras himself. It was not addressed to others, it was addressed to himself. So that even the slightest difference in uttering the words also is very, very important during the performance of the yajnas. And that's the reason like we don't have any yajnas presently, and our yajna is basically Harinam Kirtan, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Prabhupada just informs in the end of the purport that the animal is not a loser at all, because it will get a better body in the next life, and it is just testing. But now Veerabhadra here, he takes advantage of the situation and he will immediately try to behead Daksha. Text number 25. Upon seeing the action of Veerabhadra, the party of the Lord Shiva was pleased. Now, with a special weapon, Daksha was beheaded immediately without any issues and problem. So upon seeing this, it was basically a jubilation for the servants of Veerabhadra who actually accompanied with the Veerabhadra to kill Daksha. So they were pleased and they cried out joyfully, and all the bhutas, ghosts and demons made lot of tumultuous sound in jubilation. Whereas on the other side, the brahmanas who were there in the sacrifice arena, they were morose, they crowded in grief at the death of Daksha. The last text of this chapter, Veerabhadra then took the head with a great anger and threw it on the southern side of the sacrificial fire, offering it as an oblation. So Veerabhadra was direct servant sent by Shiva, and he knew the procedures also. It's not that like he just beheaded and he threw it some other place. It was not in a demonic mode actually. So he just gave it as an oblation by throwing it on the southern side, which is actually a formality performing the sacrifice or the yajna. So in this way, all the followers of Lord Shiva, they devastated the full sacrifice arena and they departed to their master's abode, Kailasa. So there ends actually the purport. But here, few interesting words Prabhupada actually, in fact, is mentioned in the verses, but it is not there in the word meaning, but you can see the names of Veerabhadra. He is called as Trayambakaha. Trayambaka means the one who is having 3 eyes. So 3 eyes, who is having? Shiva only. So he is nothing but just an extension of Lord Shiva. So he had all the powers of Lord Shiva to perform this activity, and he is also called as Pashupati in this one of the verses, who is nothing but Veerabhadra. And Araha, Araha is again is called as Veerabhadra. Then it is called as Guyaka Alayam. After the beheadment of Daksha, they all went to Guyaka Alayam, which is nothing but the abode of Guyakas, the Kailasa. Okay, Hare Krishna. So this is all the story about actually the frustration of Daksha resulted in beheading, getting himself beheaded for no reasons actually. So as I told you, we have lot of things to learn from this particular chapters. It comes from last 2, 3, 4 and 5th chapter also. And first thing is, how did this Sati's sacrifice, it actually made an impact actually. First thing is, when Sati's immolation happened, it created a havoc. Where actually created havoc? To the complete cosmos. Nobody was able to digest that actually. So people, they were actually surprised, astonished, and also they were very saddened also. Sati was such a nice devotee, wife of Lord Shiva, and untimely she had to end up her life also. And this happened just solely because Daksha disrespected her own daughter Sati. Not only he disrespected Sati, he also accused again Lord Shiva also, who was a great Vaishnava. And second thing is that, like, even though the Lord's servants at that particular time wanted to retaliate and show their anger, immediately the Bhrigu Muni, what he did, he just created Ribhus, who was the other demigods, who were more powerful than the servants of Lord Shiva at that particular time, and they just drove away everybody from the sacrifice, so that like the sacrifice will not be disturbed. So this is one thing we can understand. And this particular incident, it actually increased the rivalry between Daksha and Shiva. Of course, Lord Shiva was not having any rivalry as such, but it was only the mentality of Daksha against Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva, after getting information from Narada Muni about this incident, it led to very, very big significance actually. So immediately he actually created Veerabhadra and sent him to kill Daksha, which we just now heard how he actually beheaded Daksha. Now, this frustration, how it is important in our spiritual life also. So now, frustration means a situation wherein we face when we do not achieve what we had actually planned. What we had planned, it is unsuccessful. It can be anything. It can be mundane and it can be spiritual also. And there is no difference between that particular frustration which will be created because of a mundane activity or a spiritual activity. Ultimately, what it leads to anger and our irritating mind actually. Mind will be always disturbed when we get frustration. And then, can we use this frustration for our spiritual growth is the next question. Is it possible? That's what we should try to think also. Because for a spiritual person, this frustration can be taken as a tool for our own improvement also. How? You can take an example of chanting. I am chanting for last more than 20 years. But still, I don't have the taste for chanting. I should definitely feel that frustration why I am not able to chant nicely, not attentively. Like I see many devotees, like Bhakta when he sits, chants very nicely. Like that, there are many devotees who are chanting nicely. So we should have frustration for sure. How? That I am not chanting properly. To improve my chanting, that frustration should be used to improve our chanting or our spiritual activities actually. So for example, if you want to serve, it's not possible for to serve nicely initially. But if you have that frustration that I did not do my service properly, that should be an impetus for us to serve better. Like Madhajis, they do garlands every week or every most of the days. Not at the first time, the Mataji, one Mataji who has started doing the seva can do nice garland. But unless if they see others doing it, and if they get that impetus, yes, I have to do a better garland next time, so it is definitely helpful for them to improve their seva also. Not that like just because I am frustrated, I will not do the garland next time. No, I will just abstain from doing that. No, not like that. And then we see a lot of examples also from our previous pastimes also. Like for example, you take the example of Arjuna. Arjuna also was actually frustrated in the beginning of the war wherein he could not decide to fight against his own kinsmen. And Arjuna, Krishna, he dispelled all his doubts and he told, you have to fight as a Kshatriya because that is your duty. And he said very clearly that like you have to do this karma but not take the fruits of the actions. Then again, further we see Prahlad also. Prahlad also got severe, he has to face severe punishment from his father, Hiranyakashipu. And he also underwent lot of agony actually. Indirectly it was actually a frustration for him. But Lord Vishnu, he saved him from all his dangerous association. And the frustration also, it is basically a reflection of the difficulty sector. Basically, it happens because we cannot do an activity in a better way and we will find difficulty in our way of performing that particular activity. So devotees, what they do, that if they are frustrated, they will generally take guidance from the senior devotees for their advancement actually. Because the senior devotees, they are experienced, number one, and number two, they can guide those devotees who are frustrated to improve their sadhana or service in a better way, and ultimately they can get success. But that is one thing. But the other thing is that like it so happens that like of course like we get frustrated, we improve our service. Does it mean that like we should get take it to our head? No. Again, we should not treat that success as our final achievement, and we should not be feeling anything proud of that. In that situation, we should try to be meek and humble so that like we can again continue our service with a proper mood actually. And when we are getting frustrated, the only solution for the devotee is to get guidance. There is no harm to approach either a senior devotee or a co-devotee or your spiritual master for seeking guidance. So that has to be the trend which we have to follow. And of course, like Prabhupada's books, purports, explanations, lectures are more than enough for us to answer to lot many questions which we actually face during our spiritual growth actually. For example, like lot of chapters or lot of text of our scriptures, it gives lot of lessons also. That lessons we should try to imbibe in our life so that like we can improve. Then important thing for us again for the devotees is that like we should not get discouraged also. Because discouraged, as I told you earlier, we should not discouraged just because we are not able to do a better job. We will not be able to chant nicely. We will not be able to serve the devotees properly. We cannot do or perform our responsibilities as a family member. You should not get discouraged out of frustration, because these frustration, difficulties are all part of our life. A devotee, strong devotee, should actually, like we are hearing about Arjuna trees. I was just telling in one of the class, it was so tall tree, correct? It has to stand on its own. If it has to stand on its own, it should have deep roots down inside. So unless we deep root ourselves, we will not be able to grow also and stand aloft. So that should be our spirit actually, that we should not get discouraged, rather try to improve as much as we can. Then as far as possible, try to be meek and humble. We should not take things to our head that like I become a very great devotee now, so that like it will actually lead to only failure. And here Daksha's anger and hatred actually led to his own devastation actually, nothing else. Because even though he was a Prajapati, he was supposed to lead others by example. He was actually pride and he was also envious also. Because there is nothing like we should disrespect somebody else. So rather, as a Prajapati, as an elevated soul, direct son of Brahma, he should have known the situation and the position of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is the demigod, the Trimurtis, who is responsible for the devastation. So like unless we do not check our ego and jealousy, it can result in our own self-destruction. That's what we can learn from this Daksha's stories. Because Daksha's anger, it was actually stemmed with lot of material pride actually, because he was thinking that he is always elevated, not that like I'm not an ordinary person, what I did is only correct. Yes, of course, he had that experience, he had that position, he had that capability, that's fine, but you should also accept the other's position also. So illustrating that ego can lead to one's own downfall. And the importance of respect and humility also we can learn here, because even Sati, before self-immolation, tried to educate the father, and she told Shiva is not an ordinary living entity as you are thinking. She tried to guide, but still she was not, Daksha was not able to listen, because he had that envy and pride to the top of his head actually. So it's very, very important. Then Shiva's wrath demonstrates the importance of divine order, and in fact, if we can hear from the lot of stories also, pastimes also, that Shiva or Lord Krishna, they will ensure that the devotees of the Lord is situated in a proper frame of mind also. For example, we celebrated what actually just 2 days before, Giri Govardhan. So who was actually the person, main person who tried to disrupt? Indra. So Indra got also pride, and Krishna will either directly try to teach them the lesson so that they can be a better devotees in future, or he will arrange in such a way that like his own devotees or associate will teach them a lesson for them to become normal devotees again. So that we can just we can try to learn from this particular incident of Daksha. And is there a chance for redemption? Is there a chance that we can again recover from what has actually happened? Yes, because in the next chapter describes about how Daksha gets a goat's head. And went to Lord Shiva? All the demigods, they could not go because they knew what the anger of Shiva is, and they took the shelter of Brahma. So Brahma, in fact, he took all the demigods to Lord Shiva, and he actually explained to Lord Shiva about the incident and to be merciful. And in fact, during this discussion for Lord Brahma, he tried to inform about Shiva's own powers also, which should have been understood by Daksha previously. If he had understood the power of Shiva, he would not have accused. In fact, you can also, why Shiva killed Daksha is also a reason for us to ponder actually. It's not that his wife Sati was killed. If you remember the first incident when Daksha, in the first sacrificial ceremony, Daksha insulted Shiva. Shiva did not tell anything that particular time. He just listened to all his accusations and he just left the arena. He did not. This is the quality of the Vaishnava. Vaishnava, when he is offended directly, he should be meek and humble, not to retaliate. This is what we can try to learn from this particular lesson. And why he killed Daksha? Because Daksha offended Sati, who was a great Vaishnavi. And as a Vaishnava etiquette, we should not tolerate if somebody blasphemes another Vaishnava. Of course, if it is for our own humiliation, means we should try to sustain. But when we see somebody is offended, another Vaishnava is being offended by somebody else, then they have to be taught a lessons, or he has to be punished immediately. So this is what exactly Shiva does in this particular story, because just because that Daksha offended another Vaishnava, Shiva did the right thing by killing Daksha. This is what we can learn from this one. And now, last but not the least, this particular story also starts, especially the Sati's story, starts because she opted to go to the sacrificial arena uninvited. She was not invited. Shiva and Sati both were not invited. So that's the whole reason. In fact, Lord Shiva, he tried to convince Sati that why she should not go to this particular sacrifice, because not invited and it's not a good place for you to go, and you will have to face the consequences. And see actually how this sacrifice also happened. In the first sacrifice, who were there? Brahma also was there. In this particular sacrifice, second sacrifice, both Brahma as well as Vishnu also did not come. Why? Because they know from before what is going to happen. That's the reason they did not participate also. And if you are not invited and if you want to go, you have to be extremely careful in deciding what should be your action. Because there can be a situation that even if you are invited, if you go, you will be welcomed. But there can be a situation that you will have to face like what Daksha did to Sati. But if you are not invited, and if the host also does not like you are coming to the function, then it will actually add as a catalyst. What does the catalyst do? Catalyst, either it will speed up the process or it will reduce the process, correct? But here in this case, generally it will burn. It's like adding fuel to the fire. It can ignite the host. I did not invite and you have come. So he will be, that will lead to anger and hatred also. So we can learn a lot of things from this particular story of Lord Daksha. It's not just with Daksha getting offended, or he killed Sati, he accused Shiva, or Sati burnt herself. because Sati also, like why she burnt also was because she also could not sustain that accusation which Daksha told to Shiva. Because as a Vaishnava, this is another ethic weight. Either you try to, because she is not in a position to kill her own father, so she did not had any other choice except to kill herself. That is another story we can do. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much. It's already 9 o'clock. Stop here. So as text what we have taken is nothing but to discuss, but the only thing is that like we should only take home how we have to act as a Vaishnavas, and even though we get this frustration in our life, we should try to be meek and humble and take it to our advantage, how we can improve our sadhana. So that is what is more important in our life. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev Maharaj ki jai. Any questions? Venkatesh Prabhu is there to answer. I think we will conclude here because we have to go for Damodar Arati also and then followed by Prasadam. And many devotees, including me, we have program to go outside also. And there is actually, I was told that there is Anna Prashna. I don't know whether it's there or not. I'm not sure. Huh? Next week, postponed. Okay. So we'll conclude here. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.